You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game.
Winning isn't everything, but it's the only thing. In our business, there is no second place. Either you're first or you're last.
Ain't this what they've been waiting for? You ready?
And now, the W with Walls and the Crew.
Good morning.
Where winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. On 100.1 FM.
Good morning.
And Facebook Live.
Good morning. Good morning. Right back like we never left. Another Saturday morning with the W Show, Kansas City. Talking, oh, man.
What are we talking?
Sports and pop culture. Thank you for tuning in. Jeez. A little razzle-dazzle. That's all.
About to say, we talking all that bull.
Well, we might today. Last show of 2023. Kind of excited going into 2024. How's everyone's week?
Good.
Hectic.
Exhausting.
Yeah, very exhausting, hectic. I feel like that gap between Christmas and New Year's is always just like blurred. Like you don't really know what day it is.
I know. You know.
I do. Today I do. But yeah, you don't. You're just trying to hang on for that very last week of the year. That's how I feel this week.
No, that's definitely me hanging on by a thread.
Yep.
But we're here. It's Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
It almost. I don't know what day it feels like today, but
just like Saturday, the Saturday before New Year's Eve.
It does.
Not me.
Yeah, of course it does. We had a lot to talk about on today's show. We're going to dive into this. Of course, we're going to talk Chiefs. We're going to talk Travis Kelce. Friend of the show, Travis Kelce. He says the Chiefs' struggles are on everyone. I can agree with that. We're also going to talk about Jamar Chase with Cincinnati Bengals. He said some comments this week that have Chiefs fans upset. Not too sure if he's going to stand on business, as Jazz would say. And then we'll take a look at the current playoff picture, and then we'll talk about some local teams. Jazz, I know you're excited about this one.
Yes,
local teams in their bowl games, they were pretty successful. A clean sweep. We'll dive into that in about 20 minutes, and coming up in about 30 minutes, we'll have our sneakers of the week. Let's get to today's headlines.
And now, here are the biggest sports headlines from this week. We bring them to you every Saturday morning on the W with Walls and the Crew on 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Travis Kelce took to his latest episode of the New Heights podcast, saying the Kansas City Chiefs saying that the Chiefs' struggles are on everyone. I feel like we've all been thinking this, feeling this. I'm glad he finally said it. Let's hear what friend of the show, Travis Kelce, had to say.
The frustration was visible on the sideline. Obviously, you had the incident where you tossed your helmet in typical Kelce fashion. It's a very normal Kelce thing to do. And Andy commented about it after the game, the exchange he had with you. And he said he went back in and did a nice job. Things happen, emotional game. Travis is emotional, and sometimes my red hair gets to me a little bit.
He's looking out for me, and I love him for it. I didn't go back out there and play good. He wanted to see the fire in me, and I reacted in a bad way. And right now, I'm just not playing my best football, and I got to lock the in and be more accountable for him, be more accountable for my teammates. I got to keep my cool, man. As a leader on this team, that's not how you switch the momentum. We just got to get everybody on the same page. We just got to take a little bit more ownership in what we're doing. Not saying that I'm out of this. I'm the main part of this. You got to try and find a way to clean the up, man.
I know you guys will. You got you, Patrick Mahomes, and Andy Reid. It's only a matter of time. Just keep putting in that work, brother.
Yeah. Just watching that again. I mean, I watched it a couple of times, but watching it again, one thing that stood out is the fact that he talked about switching momentum. And the thing about it is, if you know the Chiefs and you know how they operate, when they've gotten down in pretty big games, the momentum has shifted and they've become fired up on a big play. A lot of times it's Travis Kelce. I mean, you can look back at Tyreek. You can look back to, I mean, a lot of players, right? And so I think now he's trying to get the momentum. And maybe it's not even intentional, but I think they're so used to winning that now he's looking for the momentum to come from, the frustration aspect of it. Oh, well, let me get this team fired up by doing something, crazy. And I feel like that probably could be where the momentum's coming from, or that he's looking to get momentum from.
I mean, yeah, I think they're just looking for that big play. That's the thing that swings momentum in football games, and they haven't had anybody to do that in a while. And a lot of the problems I think stem from the front office chasing the ghost of Tyreek Hill. They're literally every draft since they've drafted him, it seems like they've tried to draft somebody to kind of be his not counterpart, but someone that could take his place after he was gone, and it just didn't work. So now you have Tyreek gone, and I'm not going to call Eric Bieniemy the mastermind of the Chiefs of the past, but he was that guy. He was that fire. He was that motivation that they're looking for, and they lost it willingly to take a coach that did terrible with the Bears and Justin Fields. Like it should be head scratching to the entire fan base of why you're doing favors to have your offensive coordinator to make sure he has a job, and things like that is what kills dynasties. We saw how the Patriots dynasty was able to, mix and match in different offensive coordinators, different defensive coordinators, all around, and they were able to be successful. But I think the Patriots had a different standard of, what they were looking for. And I don't think the Chiefs are trying to mimic what they did, but I think they're trying to have a dynasty probably about as long as the Patriots did. It's just there's no blueprint for it. And everybody's not interchangeable. And two pieces like Eric Bieniemy and Tyreek Hill not being interchangeable, it's leaving the Chiefs scratching their head. And that's what this season is being indicative of.
Definitely. And I feel like a lot of the momentum shift and them feeling some type of way is so emotional. And a lot of the losses and the mistakes that have made, the penalties that have been made, are the Chiefs beating themselves. It's not even necessarily been plots. I mean, yes, Travis is getting double teamed. There's inside things
Triple
like
team
that.
too.
Yeah, but a lot of it is them making them their own mistakes, beating themselves. And I think for once in a while, we're seeing somebody get in the Chiefs' heads. Like, we haven't seen them have those explosions on the sideline other than the EB run-in. We haven't seen them bicker back and forth or look frustrated. It's always like they do some crazy play, and it all looks glamorous and glitz and glamour from the outside. And now we're kind of seeing, like you said, the inside coming out, the emotions that are getting frustrated. People are getting hot heads that we haven't seen, and they don't know how to respond or switch that momentum. And I think that's where it's going to struggle.
And that's weird too, because you think about, and I know Q talked about their drafts. To me, I feel like this is just a year. It's just a down year.
You're growing.
Yeah, and you think about just what they did in this offseason. They were planning on adding a weapon offensively. They knew that they needed to add a weapon offensively. I mean, it wasn't a secret. I mean, especially losing Juju Smith-Schuster. And you knew coming into this year that MVS probably isn't your number one option, other than, Travis Kelce. So you needed a number one wide receiver. They let McCole go because he wasn't with the team at the beginning of the year. They felt like they were going to be able to get some production from Sky Moore. Better than last year. He went in to the offseason on a positive note. Think about what he did in the Super Bowl. And then you needed somebody else. They draft Rashee Rice. He was in the offseason down working pre-draft with Patrick Mahomes in Texas. So you felt kind of positive about that. And then you see that DeAndre Hopkins was available. It's like, all right, let's figure him out. Well, something that's lingering over your head is probably your best defensive player, Chris Jones, who wants some money. And he's not going to take anything less than what he wants. Right. And so with that lingering over your head, you were kind of tied with your hands behind your back, it's like, all right, well, what can we do?
Yeah.
So then you knew, all right, you lost Orlando Brown, so you had to figure out that on the left tackle side of things. You go spend some money there. You bring in a right tackle as well. So you spend some money there. So you shore up your offensive line. However, you still need to add some talent to the wide receiver room.
Mm-hmm.
And they feel like they were going to get by. However, Chris Jones is like, nah, bro, you ain't spending this money. We gonna figure this out. I'm gonna ride this thing till the wheels fall off. Going into the first game where he's sitting up in the booth or press in his own box with his two agents sitting next to him.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the way it kicked off. And they didn't have any. Of course, DeAndre Hopkins goes and signs with the Tennessee Titans. So they're winning that move. And then you had some other things happening between there. You looked into OBJ. He went and signed with the Ravens for an astronomical amount of money, and so forth. So now it's like scratching your head. Well, what moves should we have made? What moves could we have made? There were still some options, throughout the season that you could have before the trade deadline. However, they weren't going to go that way. Typically, they try to bring in a veteran, but it doesn't always work that way.
Mm-hmm.
And so now it's like, all right, we get to this point. What are we going to do going into the playoffs? They thought they were going to make it work because it's always worked. No matter who they've had, Pat's always made it happen. And now we see the offense struggling, flipping to the defense. They've shored up their defense. Like Dejarius Sneed is playing lights out. Trent McDuffie's playing. Chris Jones is having a phenomenal year. Some of the other defensive guys. You're going to bring in Charles Omenihu as well. So your defense is balling. They're top 3 in the league. But offensively, you're struggling. And so, but you know what they say? Defense wins championships.
Offense sells
Sorry about my rant.
tickets. Defense wins games.
I mean, this defense is not going to win a Super Bowl this year. They're not that good.
Whoa. You don't think so?
The Raiders didn't pass one time in the second half. And they lost that game.
You got to get something from your offense, though. You got to get something. They got to put some kind of points on the board. Because if you put some points on the board, you're down 7-3. You're going up 14-3 going into halftime, and then this defense
that's a big if.
And think about it this way: their offense didn't have to do anything. They scored twice from their defense.
I mean,
they scored twice. The defense only gave up 3 points.
I mean, they still lost the game.
All right.
That's what I'm saying. You said defense wins championships. They didn't win. They didn't win the AFC West championship with that game. So that's regressing. But that's I think the biggest issue in the Chiefs organization is really just believing that Patrick is Superman. The fan base has said it and made themselves believe that Patrick is Superman. Yeah. And I think one thing that the Chiefs did not learn from the Patriots dynasty is those first couple of years after the 2 or 3 Super Bowls that the Patriots had won, and they thought Tom Brady could do it with a couple of trash truck drivers.
Speaking of Patriots right now,
they put all the onus on Patrick's shoulders, and when you see that, and then they also pay him a crazy astronomical amount of money, but then also you're Chris Jones sitting in the wings watching them pretty much roll out the truck for Patrick and Travis, and then you have to do all this crazy negotiating. Now he sees the seat that Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown sat in with the Steelers behind Ben Roethlisberger, because Ben Roethlisberger got the truck rolled out every time.
But Patrick didn't get the truck rolled out, though. That was 3 years ago. Now he's like not even weighed. Of course, they've done since the Chris Jones thing, or since he didn't get his money, they've restructured Patrick, but that wasn't in the plan. Travis is not even he's probably 7th on the highest paid tight end list. So he's well underpaid. He had to take $20 million from Pfizer. So he's well underpaid. I'm just saying.
Chris Jones feels like he's underpaid.
Okay.
And he wouldn't have sat out. I mean, he sat out and got $1 million, but I'm sure he wanted more. And I think I think, and I've been kind of looking at the players' body language, especially while they're on the field, in between plays and things like that. Chris Jones doesn't look like he want to be there anymore.
Okay.
And so you have that issue, and I'm pretty sure he sees exactly how Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown felt in Pittsburgh and why they had such, bad breakups. And it's probably going to end like that. I don't know if it'll be next season, but he's not going to be happy to be playing under the franchise tag without any guarantees.
He's not going to play on it. They're going to trade him before that. They're going to sign him to the franchise and then trade him, and going to get a crazy amount of cap room, and going to get some they're going to make a deal for Chris Jones.
I mean, hopefully whatever cap room they get, they don't try to draft Tyreek Hill's replacement.
And your mom said one word that we can go to is focus. Your mom posted that on our Facebook Live.
Definitely. I think she's spot on. And I feel like Travis alluded to that in general with his statements.
Yep.
But Kansas City will attempt to get back on track against familiar rival in Cincy, with whom the Chiefs have clashed in the AFC title game in each of the last 2 seasons. The stakes aren't as high right now for the other team. What are you guys' thoughts on this one?
See?
I mean, you look at it, this Cincinnati Bengals team isn't the same Bengals team without Joe Burrow. Yeah, it's just not the same Bengals team. No matter what Jamar Chase has to say, we'll get to that here in a minute. They're not the same team. He even made a mention that he can't pass the ball to himself, which I'm like, duh. But they're not the same team. Defensively, I don't feel like they're the same team. And this defense is much better, has gained a lot more experience than when they played them the last few years.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a different team without their starter, the guy that took them to the Super Bowl. But I feel like they think that they can beat this Chiefs team.
Oh, they do. They feel that way.
Yeah. And I think everybody has thought that throughout the year. This Chiefs team doesn't strike the fear in teams that they did, especially offensively. And I think teams come in with a whole new motivation. It was tough to really stop this team. The 13 seconds play, the Monday Night Football game with the Rams in Mexico, being able to have that shootout back and forth and instant offense. And I think these Bengals players are going to come in riled up. They're going to try to steal another holiday.
Sheesh.
And I mean, we saw how last week ended up. It was a very sad time. The Grinch came in and stole Christmas. And the Bengals might come and steal this one as well. I don't know if they will. Especially how the Chiefs are feeling like their backs are against the wall.
They play better that way. They played.
But I think their back is going to be against the wall, and they're going to have a hard time fighting out of it Sunday, especially if they get down.
Now, Jamar Chase definitely feels that way. Let's hear the Jamar Chase tea.
Yeah, we know what we're capable of. Everyone in the league does. That's why KC double is the way they do.
What stands out about that secondary for the Chiefs?
If I'm being honest, nothing. They just know how to play us. They know the leverages. They know what splits we in. They just know what we gonna do, certain movements. They throw a little double-doubles at us to stop the 2 best players on the outside, and that's all they do. I mean, it's not really like they got a Jalen Ramsey on these squads, you know what I'm saying? So
that can be taken.
They can take it how they want to. I don't care.
But if you don't play, would that be a problem? I'm sure you want to go out and back it up.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's so much that I can do myself. It's not like I'm Iron Man. I can't throw the football to myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a team sport. At the end of the day, it's just, I know what I see on paper. I know what I see in game. That's why they double everybody, because they can't do it one-on-one. The best player on their team is Snead, and that's a fact. Everybody knows that. That's why they double everything they see. They just got, they drafted 2 new corners that's longer. They're trying to match Snead. That's why Snead at corner now. I already know it. Like, I'm not bugged about it. They know I'm good. They know how to play us. That's what it is. But it's not like they got a superstar on their defense.
He was dinged up in that championship game. Was he on
Who?
your box?
I can't remember. Who? I don't even know who that is. Is that number 6?
6, yeah. You got
I don't know, man. I don't. Just a guy to me. Ain't Jesse Bates to me. You want me to go comparisons? It's not the same. Just saying.
Lots of shots fired.
It is. Let's start with the first one where he said the Chiefs. I'm gonna go back to off season real quick. I don't know if y'all remember this, but where Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow said Patrick Mahomes is the best player in the league, and they went and asked Jamar Chase at his locker during training camp. It's like Joe Burrow said, that Patrick Mahomes is the best player in the league, and Jamar said, "Who? Pat? Who?" No, Joe Burrow is the best player. And so that's when Pat had the 2 rings at the picture at the ring ceremony and all that. So now let's fast forward to this. He's like, first of all, L'Jarius Sneed is the best player on the defense. No, L'Jarius Sneed is not. It's Chris Jones. Let's start there. Let's start there. L'Jarius Sneed, to me, is one of the best corners in the league. I mean, he's held every top wide receiver that they faced under 100 yards. Going back to last week, Devontae Adams, what did he have? Did he have 50 yards? I don't even think
they didn't pass the ball in the second half.
They clearly because of some reason, right?
Because they didn't have the quarterback to throw it.
Okay, you can say that. However, go back to all the Stephon Diggs, go back to everybody that he's played this season.
No, that's fine. I can give you all that.
And then Trick McDuffie's been Pro Football Focus ranked number 1 or number 2 corner all season. Okay. So, I mean, across the board, this defense is playing very well. And I think he's poking the bear. Remember what they said last year? We're going to Burrowhead, what the mayor said. The Chiefs haven't said anything this year.
They can't.
They can.
They can't.
The defense can.
They cannot.
Not the offense. The defense can.
No,
the defense.
Can't.
The defense is playing much better than the offense. The defense can say a lot.
No, you
but
can't.
Overall, as a whole, they're losing. They can't say anything.
That's what I'm saying. And you can't say anything when, like, how does trash talk work when it's like, well, half our team is good.
I have to agree with Q.
It works the same way. So if we saying that about the Chiefs, it worked the same way about the Cincinnati Bengals. They're not playing good. Their record is 8. Their record is what, 8-7.
They're also not the defending champs.
Correct, but their record is still your record says who you are, right? You are who we think you are. It shows what your record.
And they battled injuries. They battled.
No, that's excuses. That's a bunch of excuses.
It's not.
That's excuses
because if Patrick,
what's that sign say behind you? That pink sign right there.
No, definitely.
You play to win the game, right?
But if Patrick Mahomes was not playing, then it'd be like, oh, we're having a different year. No, and that's definitely what happens with the Chiefs, because every time they've lost, it's been like, oh, well, so and so was hurt, and so was this and that changed the game, and now we're at this point where the Chiefs as a team are bad, and they're facing another Cincinnati team that's
another bad team.
Yeah, pretty much their rival, and it's funny because this rivalry is not the top of the AFC right now. So that's what makes it so funny. If this was 2 years ago, this would be great content. This would be a great conversation. But now we're talking about 2 losing teams that's bickering with each other. And
no, it's not. It's one-sided.
Okay.
It's one-sided. It only came from the Bengals, and the Chiefs haven't said anything.
Oh, well, they said some stuff. You said, like, Patrick did his whole little.
That was June. We're talking about now. We're talking about.
Oh, no, this
you take it week by week.
This is
week by week.
This is in the same calendar
week by
season.
Week. Week by
This
week.
is the same league year. You know, you can't throw subliminals and say, "Oh, I've been quiet the whole time." Like,
yeah,
all right,
you ain't worried about that. That was off season. Season hadn't even started yet.
I bet.
Yeah.
So, current playoff picture. What are we thinking?
Chiefs are barely a wild card team.
If it ended today, the Chiefs would be the 3rd seed. They would face the Bills. Of course, the Ravens would get the bye. The 7 seed would face the 2 seed, which are the 7 seed would be the Indianapolis Colts. 2 seed would be the Miami Dolphins. Browns would be 5, and they of course face the 4 seed, which is the Jacksonville Jaguars. If you look at, so this is going into week 16, still two games left. The Miami Dolphins will face the Baltimore Ravens. So that's the battle for the number 1 seed. The Chiefs could still win out. They still have the opportunity to become the number 2 seed. If they win this week, well, actually, I'm sorry. They'll stay the number 3 seed. So if they win this week, then there's no reason to play your starters in the last game of the season against the LA Chargers. No reason to.
Oh well, yeah, they're not gonna. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna play starters against the Chargers at all. Anyway, I think you want to.
No, I mean, if you lose this week, you got to, because you're battling for you got battling to get into playoffs, AFC West.
And who's able to handle that pressure outside of Patrick and Travis on this team?
What are you talking about?
The pressure of winning both games.
You only need to win one.
You still got to win.
I mean, here's the thing about this team, and I brought this up a couple weeks ago. I can't remember who it was that we talked to around Super Bowl time of last year, that said a lot of these young players weren't with this team, 2018, 2019, to understand losing. All they know is Super Bowl, AFC Championship, or bust. That's all they know.
True.
So right now, and I'm gonna ask y'all this: is this rock bottom for the Chiefs?
It's not rock bottom, but it's getting there. It's on the pathway there.
Yeah.
And especially if they come into another season expecting Patrick Mahomes to be Superman.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's all the way rock bottom. I think it'll be serious drawing board in the offseason, and then that could be rock bottom if it doesn't turn from there.
Okay.
Because how do you feel like the new left and right tackles have played?
I don't feel like they've played to what they're getting paid. I don't. I can say that they're good people, but as far as on the football field, yeah.
So more than half of the offense is not worth their contract.
More than half? No, I can't say more than half. I would say
key pieces.
3 people.
Okay.
I would say 3 people on the offense aren't worth their contract right now.
Okay.
That'd be the left and right tackle and MVS.
11. Yes.
Yeah. 3 people.
That was yeah. Okay.
Everybody else is. I mean, you look at Justin Watson. He signed a 2-year deal. I mean, he's playing what they felt like he would be, a deep threat down the field. I mean, he's done that. Of course, they didn't want him to be a number 1, number 2, number 3. You can come through, get some crucial catches. He's done that. McCall, they signed him. He's been injured. Of course, you're gonna get what you're gonna get from Travis. You're gonna get what you're gonna get from 10, 15. I mean, you think about everybody else. Still on their rookie deal, is Sky Moore, so you really can't say anything about that. Rashee Rice playing out of his mind, playing better than his contract. So I mean, everybody else is kind of across the board. You think about the interior linemen, and Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, Joe Tooney, all those guys are playing well. So I mean, there's only 3 people, which isn't a bad thing.
Well, that's a lot because that's 3 key pieces.
Yeah, I can say that.
Because,
2 key. One is kind of you can figure that out. Left and right tackle, you got to do some soul searching to find good ones.
Yeah, but you also is MVS the highest paid receiver on this team?
Yeah, well, yeah. If you take away Travis, yes.
So
he's getting paid
3 key pieces.
11. I think MVS is getting paid
11,
$12 million, $13 million this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you have that's a key piece.
Yeah,
especially if you're,
of course, but you can that's easier. That's easier replaceable than left and right tackle.
You would think,
because I mean, I would go if I'm Brett Veach right now. I'm looking at Mike Evans and say, "Oh, Tampa Bay don't want to pay you next year." Okay,
but that's that.
Okay, I mean that'll.
And I think that's my issue. One of the issues I have is because, I mean, Mike Evans is. I'm not gonna say he's in the twilight of his career.
29 years old,
but I mean, that's an older guy, and you're removing him from Tampa Bay, warm, sunshiny weather, to putting him here in the misery.
You're a football player.
Yes, you're a football player, but you're older.
This ain't the same. This ain't the same KC that it was back when you was bringing in Larry Johnson and Debo and all them guys.
I know that, but what I'm saying is you're bringing in an older guy.
Mm-hmm.
If they bring in Mike Evans, because Mike Evans is definitely a guy that can catch the ball. He can run deep routes.
Mm-hmm.
He's almost that like classic possession receiver.
Let me ask you this right now: would Mike Evans on this team currently, right now, make them a better offense?
I don't know.
Okay.
Because you don't have other pieces around that. Like, would he be? And
I mean, okay, let me rephrase my question. Take away 11, put in Mike Evans. Would this make, you got Rashee Rice still? You got Travis.
Somewhat. And the reason I say that again is because you don't have a compliment to him.
You got Rashee Rice. That's a great compliment. That takes a lot more pressure off Travis. That takes a lot more. All you need is a weapon that can take pressure off Travis Kelce. And then you got to pick your poison. We talk about that. Mm-hmm. You're not going to guard Travis Kelce with one. You can barely guard him with two. You got to bring three. That's why teams have been bringing three players. Mm-hmm. So,
I mean, we're just going to have to disagree on that.
All right. Jazz, what do you think?
I do have to agree with Steve on this one. I'll give Steve this one. I'm sorry, Q.
No, and that's fine. I don't think that.
Jax, appreciate you, Jackson. He said he would. The other receivers, including Kelce, are drawing the distractions on offense.
Could be, but you still have to have other guys that like produce. And I don't know if Mike Evans is that guy that can pull that out of other players. And
he'll fight for you. We know that for sure. He will scrap for you. We know that.
Yes, but I don't know if there's one piece to this offense that cures all. I think that's what I'm saying. I think you need a couple of different pieces. And especially when you look at the runs that they've made, they had a lot of pieces that made a lot of plays, all the way down to DeMarcus Robinson. So
yeah, Jackson says Evans would make a huge difference. Rice produces, Watson produces. Yeah, I mean, shoot.
So does Watson produce because I think, and this is solely opinion, is that early in the season there was no attention on Justin Watson, so he was able to eat.
He got injured.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what happened.
I mean, yes, but I'm still saying while he was there,
yeah, for sure,
he was able to eat because all of the focus went elsewhere.
Yeah,
and so he was able to sneak out the backside. And so injury goes down, Rashee Rice takes that spot, and so now all the attention is elsewhere. You go make these catches because I can't rely on 11, 19, and 24.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. I don't think Mike Evans is a cure-all for that.
You need a dog, and right now in that wide receiver,
wide
receiver room don't have one except Rashee Rice.
Look, because Tyreek had the biggest bark of them all.
Maybe they'll find some local guys. It was a clean sweep for local teams competing in college football bowl games earlier this week. KU defeated UNLV. Love that one, of course, like Steve said. K-State defeated NC State. Mizzou defeated Ohio State. But Mizzou QB Brady Cook has a message to fans. This video is courtesy of a friend of the show, Aaron Ladd. Let's hear from Cook and our thoughts on these games.
To the fans, we're back. The university, this team, the state of Missouri, St. Louis, Columbia, Kansas City, they deserve this. We're back. We're not leaving.
Appreciate my guy Aaron Ladd. I shot him that message this morning, like, hey bro, send me that video. He's like, no doubt. Told him we'll shout him out. So appreciate you. Hey,
my guy.
Yeah, he Brady Cook, he sent a message. Kansas City, Columbia,
St. Louis.
It was a bowl game, pipe down. It was a bowl game, pipe down.
Who'd they play?
Pipe down.
They played Ohio State.
Pipe down.
They played a perennial winner. Yeah, they played a perennial winner.
Whatever.
Oh, and wait a minute. Hold on. Can we pull that graphic back up? Hold on. Wait. We do have a K-State Wildcat in the house. Shout out to K-State. How they defeated the North Carolina State Wolfpack. Yeah.
Fair enough.
And then we have the Jayhawks.
Why does it always have to be them, the Hawks? Man, whatever. We couldn't just give everybody the credit. It's whatever.
We could. Clean sweep, remember? That's what you said.
How did that taste?
Great.
Can we get one rock chalk?
Oh, no. Never.
Oh, man. Now, on the other side, the Florida State players, 24 of them actually have opted out of its upcoming Orange Bowl matchup versus Georgia after the college football playoff snub. This is big.
It is. That's a lot of players. It's a lot of players. Now, granted, you always get players, every year that opt out, especially last few years, because the drafts. You're not gonna. I don't feel like a bowl game would help depending on who you are.
Depends, yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I feel like a lot of guys are like, nah, I'm about to go. I'm out. Deuces. I don't need this bowl game. I'm gonna be where
Risk
I'm at.
for injury too.
Yeah. So sometimes you get guys that's like, all right, unless you win a national championship, it's like I don't need to play that. So.
Yeah, no, and I'm with them on that. Shoot, if they want them to play, they should pay them more.
I guess Russell Wilson's kind of saying the same things or feeling some type of heat. Wilson confirms Broncos bitched him after demanding he change his contract. Let's hear what Russ had to say.
Yeah, it was definitely disappointing. I think that we've obviously been competing all year, trying to get to the playoffs, and still got a chance and everything else. But for me, obviously I love being out there. Love playing with our guys and doing whatever it takes.
What did Sean say to you about why the move was made?
It's been a process. Just that he was going to go with number 2. I was going to become number 2.
There's been a lot of attention about the contract situation. Did they approach you or your agent in October regarding adjusting the contract, Russell?
Yeah.
And what can you say about that?
Yeah, they just during we beat the Chiefs. They came up to me during the bye week. And beginning the bye week on Monday or Tuesday, and they told me that if I didn't change my contract, my injury guaranteed, that I'd be, I'd be benched for the rest of the year. And I think we had 9 games left or so. I was definitely disappointed about it, and it was a process throughout the whole week, for a whole bye week, and we just came off beating the Chiefs, played a pretty good game against the Chiefs. We just came off of that, so I was excited, obviously, for us to fight for the playoffs and get on a hot streak. And and then NFLPA and NFL got involved or whatever, I think, but at some point. But I think for me, I just I came here to play here, to win. I knew it was going to be a process to I signed a 7-year deal to for us to go and play hard, and that's my goal every time I step into the white lines is give everything I have. I want to be here. I want to play here. I want to be able to win here. I want to win championships here. I want to give my all every week.
It's kind of I feel like we know what the league is. All about business. This is bad business because this Broncos team let me back up for a second. Had this Broncos team not been in playoff contention, had they been still struggling like they were at the beginning of the season, I'd be all right, cool. But right now you are you're catching up to Kansas City. I mean, if Kansas City was to lose a game, you're right there. And so it's like, all right, the front office said, all right, we're just going to wash our hands this season because of money. And it's like, man, you got that Walmart money. Mm-hmm. And just looking at Russell Wilson's contract, he signed a 5-year extension worth a reported $245 million in September of 2022, which is set to kick in next season. According to ESPN, Wilson is guaranteed $39 million in 24, whether he's on the team or not, and as well as another $37 million in his 2025 salary guaranteed if he could not pass a physical on the 5th day of the new league year in March. So they don't want to pay him that other $39 million or $37 million. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just want the NFL fans as a whole to come to the realization that every team is not trying to win.
Why you say that?
Every team in the NFL is not trying to win. And we could use the Broncos as a case in this, and then we can also use the Atlanta Falcons as a case in this. We can go back to this offseason when every team decided to be quiet about Lamar Jackson. And the Falcons being one of those teams that brazenly said, no, we're not interested. So back to my point, there are teams that are trying to win. We can include the Patriots in that. We can include the Chiefs.
I don't think the Patriots trying to win this year.
The Patriots are always trying to win.
Okay.
The Patriots are always trying to win.
Okay.
Yes, it's business first over there, but they're in the business of winning. And we're not going to say a team that had a dynasty for almost 20 years is not trying to win. Now the Broncos,
throw the Panthers in there.
I don't want to throw the Panthers in there.
Why not?
I think the Panthers are having some down seasons. No. And some teams tank just to try to, garner draft picks over some certain years. They may have they might have a 5-year outlook. Whatever that is. I think the Panthers are kind of in that middle part. But there's a couple of teams that you can name that the ownership, I think, just wants to make money. They just want to be in the black at the end of the season. Wins and losses doesn't matter because they're playing the game. Okay. And I think that's a mentality that some people get. I'm not really trying to be the best. I'm not trying to be, the greatest of all time. I'm just trying to make some money and fatten my pockets.
Some money. It's a lot of money.
And I think that's where the Broncos are at. Because you can't tell me after the Super Bowl runs that they've made, the playoff runs that they've made. I mean, even going back to John Elway, and he could be a cancer in that front office. I don't know.
I thought they got rid of John Elway. They
got rid of him
last year.
Either way, that front office is terrible. And to bring in the first thing that was indicative to me is having Nathaniel Hackett be the head coach after you just paid one of the best quarterbacks in the league. A lot of people, even my co-host on the Red Hour, they tried to laugh me out of the studio when I told them that Russell Wilson is a good quarterback and that Sean Payton would turn this team around.
John Elway's not with the team anymore.
Good.
After
Good.
Rob Walton bought the team.
But it's a head scratcher because why are they doing this? And I mean, it's not a surprise that the Waltons that own Walmart and really took advantage of all of their work staff and underpaying them so they could become billionaires. And now they're trying to do the same thing with the football organization. And you can't have a winning program. You can't have a winning mentality when you are asking your highest paid player to, hey, can you give us some of that money back?
I forgot Condoleezza Rice is the owner, and Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, it was the Walmart Waltons.
Yeah, Condoleezza Rice and Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton, the Formula One driver. Yeah.
So they're in it for money. What does Lewis Hamilton say he's trying to?
Lewis Hamilton, cool.
But is he trying to build a dynasty football team in Denver? I doubt it.
I would say so.
Condoleezza Rice, do you think she's trying to build a dynasty?
She know football. According to you, remember we had this conversation years back, and I was like, "What does Condoleezza Rice know about football?" He's like, "Oh, she know a lot about football." I'm like, because she was part of the.
I was probably trolling.
Nah, she's a part of the NCAA selection committee.
Yeah, I was probably trolling.
Nah, you were serious
because I didn't know none of that. I was probably trolling. Was probably heavily trolling. But no, I mean, and back to my point that football and a lot of football fans will complain about the quality of the game, but the quality of the game is on the onus of not only the ownership of every team, but also the commissioner and whatever collusion type group that they have. They're just trying to make money. and they know people are going to watch football no matter what. Like, we can say whatever, we could have all the John Gruden controversies, the Colin Kaepernick controversies. People are going to watch this game, and it doesn't matter if our team wins or not, as long as we stay in the black. And the Broncos are that team, because there's no way you're asking Russell Wilson to give money back after he turned around his franchise from a 3-win team to now in the playoff hunt. And that's the type of progress that you want when you're building an organization, because I paid him a couple of years out. His second year in, he's completely turned the team around. I don't know. There's a lot that I could say, and the Broncos are stinking it up as an organization. And it's terrible that it has to come out like this, because, I mean, one, it's a black quarterback. You're asking a black quarterback to give you money back because he didn't get hurt and he overperformed. Like, what? So
on that note, we are going to take a quick break. Keep it locked in. This is W Show. We'll be right back.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Come spin with us, Kansas City. KC WeSpin 360 is the coolest 360 video spinner experience for events. KC WeSpin 360 is taking it to the next level. The 360 video spinner platform rental will be the life of the party. Everyone will be talking about their 360 video experience while bragging about it on their social media pages. The captivating slow motion and reverse effects will have your guests feeling like celebrities. The KC WeSpin 360 video spinner can capture slow-mo videos, GIFs, and boomerangs from every angle. Specializing in corporate events, weddings, social gatherings, bar bat mitzvahs, school events, and fundraisers, KC WeSpin 360 can be found online at kcwespin360.com. Come spin with us, Kansas City.
Your loved ones matter the most. Take the burden away by pre-planning personal arrangements that fit you and your family perfectly. Golden Gate Funeral and Cremation Services will be here to comfort your family and take special requests. Plan and feel confident your loved ones will be less stressed and can console each other in their time of need. We will be here when you need us at 816-231-GATE or visit kcgoldengate.com. Exchanging your grief for a golden experience.
Football fans, you can't spell gate without Gates, and great tailgates start with Gates sauces and seasonings. Named synonymous with mouth-watering tailgates. When you make your list of tailgate essentials, add Gates sauces and seasonings to that list. Spice up your tailgate experience with that unmistakable great taste. Available in 4 tantalizing flavors: classic, sweet, mild, and hot. Find it at your local grocer, and if you don't see it, ask for it. Visit GatesBarbecue.com to purchase any of the great sauces and seasonings. Great tailgates start with Gates.
Tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
You feeling that song, huh, Jazz?
Just a little bit. I'm getting warmed up for New Year's for my celebration.
Yeah.
Now, remember to interact with our show. Use hashtag talk about it. Message us. We'll talk about whatever topic you want, songs you like, whatever you like to vibe to.
Mm-hmm.
Holler at us. Piston stars Marvin Bagley and KC area native, also friend of the show, Alec Burks, make incredible $80,000 Christmas gesture
AB.
by paying off the debts of around 18 Michigan families at Michigan's First Credit Union.
Shout out to AB.
Like, nah, that's big.
Yeah.
That is huge. I mean, that guy, he's just a good guy all around. I worked with him for a very long time, doing parties and stuff with him. And he's just a good guy. I guarantee you the Broncos organization isn't doing that for Denver fans.
Shots fired.
Wow.
As you should. Steve, your thoughts?
Yeah, that's a real big deal. Of course, Alec, he does a lot around Kansas City as well. I'm sure Marvin Bagley does things around his hometown. But just for them to, what was it, $80,000?
Yeah.
That's dope. And it was a lady said that she was speechless, after getting her debt paid. So I feel like that's a huge deal. Like I said, Alec Burks does a lot around the city with like basketball camps and giving back to school drives and things like that. So yeah, man, kudos to them.
Yeah, really good guy. Round of applause.
Thanks. Now, this one's pretty loaded. A reporter asked Michigan Coach Sherrone Moore about Alabama QB Jalen Milroe's comments on Bill O'Brien suggesting that he changed positions and where he thinks black QBs stand today from a stereotyping standpoint. Coach Moore was asked about the comments, and he said, really, I don't see color. My wife is Caucasian. My kids are mixed. I deal with black, white. I've lived in Kansas where you can be in the house with the door open at 12, and in New Jersey where you have to be in the house by 6 o'clock. I've seen all cards of the spectrum. Let's hear what QB Jalen Milroe had to say.
Shoot, all my life, even when I was in college, my own offensive coordinator, Bill O'Brien, told me I shouldn't play quarterback. So, there's a lot of things I can, have motivation on, and that is something I have motivation from.
What was your reaction to Bill O'Brien telling you that you shouldn't play quarterback? Do you remember how you felt when he said that?
How would you feel if I told you you suck?
Probably wouldn't like it.
Okay then, so that's exactly how I felt, So biggest thing for me, be true to myself and, stay the same. Nothing changed about me. Only thing that
Couple things. One, Bill O'Brien, we know what kind of a dude he is since his time in Houston. The whole Jalen Hurts thing, not Jalen Hurts, but Deshaun Watson deal down in Houston. The DeAndre Hopkins, how they shipped him off. We know how we thought it was the front office, but now we're really seeing who, because he was head coach and general manager. So enough with that. Let's talk about Michigan fill-in coach for John Harbaugh. And he said, really, I don't see color. My wife is Caucasian. My kids are mixed. I deal with black and white. I lived in Kansas where you can be in the house with the door open at 12, and in New Jersey where you had to be in the house by 6 o'clock. I've seen all cards of spectrum. What does that have to do with anything that he asked about the question?
Right.
You danced around the question, really. You tried to be politically correct, but it really didn't come out the way that you wanted it to come out. Like, what is your wife is Caucasian, my kids are mixed. What are you trying to say? Like, because at the end of the day, you are being politically correct because you want a head coaching job.
Exactly.
That's all I can see. Like, You're not going to speak your mind of what you really think.
And I'm not hiring a head coach. I'm not in the business of hiring head coaches at all. But if I was, I'm not hiring a head coach that can't answer a simple question. And especially dancing around a question like that, that you have experience in. He's a black head coach. He's faced discrimination, but he probably also really loves football and the white men around it.
Yeah.
And that's just what he loves. And I mean, that's fine. But why don't you answer the question? And it's crazy to me.
And his response is so the typical bluff of I'm not racist. I have black friends. You know what I'm saying? But that's not what we were questioning in whatsoever. I need you to fill in those gaps. There was so much left for you to read between the lines, but you still didn't address the actual problem. And I think that's where it's I just can't give you any more credit for that statement. It wasn't PC at all.
I agree. I mean, he's feeling it today, as we've seen the comments on Twitter, the videos, the memes of just people that,
because he's definitely the overseer of Candyland.
Yikes.
If you've seen Django.
Yikes. On that note, we're going to take a quick break. Coming up, we'll dive into our Hate or Love It segment. Keep it locked in. This is W Show. We'll be right back.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Come spin with us, Kansas City. KC WeSpin 360 is the coolest 360 video spinner experience for events. KC WeSpin 360 is taking it to the next level. The 360 video spinner platform rental will be the life of the party. Everyone will be talking about their 360 video experience while bragging about it on their social media pages. The captivating slow motion and reverse effects will have your guests feeling like celebrities. The KC WeSpin 360 video spinner can capture slow-mo videos, GIFs, and boomerangs from every angle. Specializing in corporate events, weddings, social gatherings, bar bat mitzvahs, school events, and fundraisers, KC WeSpin 360 can be found online at kcwespin360.com. Come spin with us, Kansas City.
Your loved ones matter the most. Take the burden away by pre-planning personal arrangements that fit you and your family perfectly. Golden Gate Funeral and Cremation Services will be here to comfort your family and take special requests. Plan and feel confident your loved ones will be less stressed and can console each other in their time of need. We will be here when you need us at 816-231-GATE or visit kcgoldengate.com, exchanging your grief for a golden experience.
Football fans, you can't spell gate without Gates, and great tailgates start with Gates sauces and seasonings. Named synonymous with mouth-watering tailgates. When you make your list of tailgate essentials, add Gates sauces and seasonings to that list. Spice up your tailgate experience with that unmistakable great taste. Available in 4 tantalizing flavors. Classic, sweet, mild, and hot. Find it at your local grocer, and if you don't see it, ask for it. Visit GatesBarbecue.com to purchase any of the great sauces and seasonings. Great tailgates start with Gates.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Remember to interact with our show. Use hashtag talk about it, message us. We'll talk about whatever topic you want.
It's that time for Love It or Hate It.
Hate it.
If we love it, we talk about it. If we hate it, we move on.
So at the end of the year, we're going to recap the top 10 voted to be the best sneaker releases by Nike this year. Top 10s, we've got at number 10, Mater Crocs. Number 9, Jordan 3, Balvin Medellin Sunsets. 8, Air Jordan 1 Low Golf Travis Scott's. 7, Kobe 6 Reverse Grinch. 6, Nike SB Dunk Low. 5, Nike Air Force 1 Low Tiffany & Co. 4, Air Jordan 3 Reimagined White Cement. 3, Nike SB Dunk Low Jarritos. 2, Jordan 1 Low Travis Scott's. And at number 1, the Air Jordan 4 Nike SB Sail Pine Greens. What are you feeling?
I only like 3 of these on this list. 4 of them.
Yeah,
maybe 5.
The Crocs? Is this a joke? In the top 10?
I mean,
I'm sick. No, not even close.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I think, I kind of have to agree. I think I would have like 2 or 3 that I dig. I like the Tiffany & Co.'s. Those are solid. And I think my number 1 would be the Jordan 1 Low Travis Scott Olives.
Those are the women's too, so.
Yeah.
I mean, just giving you top 3. Of course, I like the Tiffany Air Force Ones. Of course, the Kobe Reverse Grinches. And then give me the ones that I'm probably going to end up getting these. The SB Pine Greens, Jordan 4s.
Cute. Top 3s.
This is a tough list.
You like that many?
Huh?
You like that many, or it's just hard to pick 3 you like?
It's hard to pick 3 I like on that.
Fair.
I mean, I'm not always the low tops guy. Yeah, the green. What are there 4s at the bottom?
4 Pine Greens.
What's the one with the backwards check?
Travis Scott's.
Yeah,
these
the Travis Scott's. Yeah.
These are women's only, but then they came out with some, unisex ones too.
I think I like the brown ones better than those black ones, but and then maybe what's that at the top? Is that 3s?
Yep, those are 3s. J Balvin.
I like the colorway. I just don't like 3s as a shoe.
Okay.
So yeah, what's in the red box next to the Tiffany?
Those are the 3s, the Reimagined White Cements.
Yeah. So those yeah, that's my 3. That's a tough list.
Tough. Following his first NBA regular season matchup against number 3 overall pick Scoot Henderson, against whom he played in exhibition games last fall in Las Vegas, and the San Antonio Spurs star, Wemby was asked about his impressions of competing under the bright lights of Sin City. Let's hear what Victor had to say.
Your first experience with Vegas too. What did you think about the lights and the weather?
To me, it's probably on Earth. It's the closest thing to a dystopia. So I'm not the biggest fan of Vegas.
I agree.
You agree?
not the biggest fan of Vegas or whatever.
I agree.
Whatever.
I'm right there with him.
Monday, the Kansas City Chiefs announced local standout wide receiver from Lee Summit North High School as part of the Next Ones with Nike football. Hate it or love it.
Shout out to him. We love that. Love that. Love it.
Super cool. Former Chiefs offensive lineman, now Bengals O-lineman Orlando Brown Jr. missed the first of his son to play the Steelers last Saturday. Hate it or love it.
Was he on a road? He was on a road.
He's on the road. Mr. Burks.
It happens.
It does it?
He FaceTimed her as she was giving birth in the locker room.
Yeah, he was on the road.
Nah, bro. I ain't missing my kid. Nah, forget that.
So her water probably broke while he was there. Like
he
was on a road.
It ain't that important.
Michael Bridges has reportedly eaten over $50,000 worth of Chipotle in the last 10 years. Hate it or love it.
Love it. I love Chipotle.
Yeah.
You can eat $10,000 worth or $50,000 worth.
In how many
giving
years?
it to me free a year.
In
He's eating
10
every day
years?
for a year.
Oh.
10 years. You up there, right?
I wouldn't eat that every day for a year.
How much coffee have you drank in 10 years?
Oh, we don't even want to start that.
$50,000 worth?
Easily, probably.
See?
Yeah. There's too many different combinations with Chipotle. I can make it work.
I like real Mexican food too much to eat at Chipotle that much.
Shots fired again. Thank you.
All right. We appreciate everyone who joined in on today's show. Thank you for rocking with us all of 2024. More things to come. We appreciate everyone. Until next year, we are out of here.
Peace.
And with that, the 2023 season comes to an end. Good night.
The views and opinions expressed on the W Radio Show by the hosts, co-hosts, guests, and call-in listeners are solely the opinions and responsibility of the original source who expressed them. They do not represent the opinions of the W Show, 100.1 FM, One Kansas City Radio, Sideline Sports Talk, Team Wall Street Foundations, or affiliates.